Okay, so quick first reaction to American Horror Stories double feature. So yeah, this is a show that's quite recent. There are only 3 episodes in. The third episode only aired today, and I only started the series yesterday. I've seen the first 2 episodes, so my opinion on the show is only going to be judged from the first 2 episodes and what I've seen. And like from the start, I want to say I haven't seen all 10 seasons of American Horror Story because I know each season is different. Each season is an anthology, so it's different story, different direction, new cast and all that. So because I recently got done watching American Horror Story 1984, which I really dug that show like as like an 80s slasher fanboy. Like that gave me everything I wanted, with a few twists and turns which I honestly didn't expect, and I enjoyed that show overall. I would say like it's not a great show by any means. Like the first 4 episodes I love honestly, but then after that it kind of goes downhill in some mixed directions that I think are okay, and it does make for a good enough conclusion to that series. But it went downhill a little for me, but but like I said, as a whole, I still enjoyed it. I loved the wrap up to the show. I will give it that. The wrap up, which I won't get into, was really good. And now jumping into double feature, I loved both episodes. I think they jump off each other really well. Like you can watch the first episode and then go right into episode 2, and it feels like you're watching one continuous story, which is what this season is. And I think it has a great set of characters, like our new characters who moved to this town that is kind of like unknown. It's this very small town. Only a very few people live there. As you see in some of the environments and settings that are explored, like the pub in the first episode, like there's only a few people that actually go there, and the streets aren't loud and aggressive. It's a very quiet town. So there's a good amount of atmosphere in the show. There's a good selection of characters here. I really like our main characters. And I really like the casting in the show. Like the casting for our main set of characters, I thought were really good. And in the first episode, I thought they were good, but it wasn't until episode 2 when there's a different mindset of emotion put on them, and there's a different kind of challenge put on them as actors. Well, it's just like, whoa, now this is really good shit here. Like what they're bringing to this performance and how they're portraying this particular emotion, I really liked. I'm liking the subplots that are introduced so far in the series. There's one about a drug, which I'm really liking, and it looks like that's a major part in this overall story. I really like that. I find that really interesting, because like the origin of this drug is unknown. Like there is a bit more of it explored in episode 2, but it's very minor from what you already originally knew. So I really dig that. I dig the vampires that hang out at the graveyard. I find them creepy. And there's some cool costume design. I already said that there was good atmosphere. The show has really good direction. It has good cinematography. It has a great level of suspense, especially in the first episode when they're, in the first 5 minutes they're driving along the road, and and they see all the dead animals on the road and all that, and it builds this great level of suspense that like, what the fuck is this town? What is going on? But then you find out kind of why there were dead animals on the road and what that might connect to, which I won't spoil, but I'm sure it's like it's obvious if you've been following this show for all 10 seasons. It might be obvious, Like I haven't seen the trailer or the teaser to this, so it could be obvious from that as well. I don't know, but yeah, like I was intrigued in the first 2 minutes of this show when they were driving along the road and they were just seeing all these dead animals, and then you see like the deer being pulled off the road as they drive past, which which you can assume was the creatures that were hanging out at the graveyard, and all that, because all the animals that were on the road, they were very recently dead, because the blood was still dry, like it was still dripping, so it was a recent it was a recent animal attack. um but yeah, I'm really digging this show. Like, I'm really liking it. Like, the first episode was kind of slow. The second episode did pick up on the pacing. It's a lot more interesting to me. But yeah, the first episode I think is a great introduction to our characters, our story, the atmosphere, the type of world that we're introduced to. So yeah, I really dig that. Really enjoying the show. I highly recommend you check it out.